it's been reduced very substantially. Yeah, we're going to be bringing the tariffs down. I mean, at some point, we're going to be bringing them down. Without tariffs, this country would be in such trouble, as they were for many years. That's why we owe $38 trillion. And one of the things we're going to do, we're going to issue a dividend to our middle-income people and lower-income people of about $2,000. And we're going to use the remaining tariffs to lower our debt. We're going to be lowering our debt, which is a national security thing. So we're doing a lot of good work. The numbers were reported so incorrectly. The real numbers are trillions of dollars have been taken in or gotten in terms of investment.
All right, well, President Trump is giving us Bidenomics all over again. New stimulus checks and a 50-year mortgage. What the heck? This is where we should all remember that it was, in fact, President Trump who handed out the first COVID stimulus money, and that led to inflation. We warned you then. We are saying it now. Now, a lot of people who like Trump, for many reasons, are saying, well, he had to. He was pressured by sort of the powers that be during the pandemic. Maybe, but he's not being pressured now. Why is he doing this? If we don't see that this is Bidenomics 2.0, we are fools. Now, what do we mean by Bidenomics? Well, during the Biden years, we got massive government handouts. The dollar crashed to support the war in Ukraine. And the White House was telling us all the while that the economy has never been better. We found that insulting when that happened then, which is why we find this insulting when President Trump is doing it now.
I'm pleased to report that today the United States has the strongest economy, the strongest borders, the strongest military, the strongest friendships, and the strongest spirit of any nation anywhere. We have the greatest economy right now. A lot of people don't see that. But if you look at what's happening with all the factories, AI, auto plants all over the country being built, that if you would have thought about that 2 or 3 years ago, it was the opposite. They were all leaving. Now they're all coming in. They're all coming back and then some. And I think that we can honestly say, and I think you're going to see it even more so over the next 12 months, that this is the golden age of America. This is the golden age.
Okay, well, you just don't see it yet, he says. If you don't see it now, you will eventually see it, so you need to just start seeing it.
Former Congressman Ron Paul took umbrage with that statement over the weekend, saying all this talk about a golden age. Like, no. We're $38 trillion in debt. The housing market is being squeezed. Now we're seeing signs of a recession, as Treasury Secretary Scott Benson said this week, that we are already probably in a housing recession. So we're seeing massive layoffs. Where exactly is this golden age? I mean, I know that there are like MAGA influencers who are like, golden age is here. We're so back. We're so back.
Raise your hand. What is different under President Trump? What is different? Because the economic policy is the same. Support war, massive debt, government expansion. Now, we get little breadcrumbs from the Department of Government Efficiency, like this DEI thing, this program in Mozambique or whatever. That's great. Those are to the tune of billions, not trillions, which is what our debt is. Now, over the weekend, President Trump said, things are so good, we're going to give out $2,000 checks, basically, a dividend from our tariffs because we just are breaking all these records. Today, he clarified that all of this money is from leftover. All the leftover money will go into, U.S. citizens, and it will pay down the national debt. So it's not like let's get ourselves out of debt first so that we don't continue to devalue the dollar and steal from savings accounts. No, it's let's give you this money and then whatever's left over will pay down the debt. The debt's not ever gone down. It's not going to go down. So he's leading us to believe that he can do that. Now, I want to remind you, let's rewind the clock 5 years, because when President Trump instituted the first COVID relief payout, economists were saying this is going to lead to inflation and devalue the dollar. Here is one of many people who were saying this from The Economist. They specifically predicted massive stimulus programs would be another potential source of inflation because governments around the world will borrow heavily to finance schemes, which is exactly what happened. Since this article was written, we've had inflation at 26%. Since this article, April of 2020, now all of our costs are up 26%. That means that if you took those 3 COVID stimulus checks of around $3,000 in 2020, it was a poison pill because now you took in $3,000, but your cost of living has gone up 26%. That's not a good deal. Who would vote for that deal? Who would take that deal now, knowing that next year and the year after it's going to get worse and worse for you? That was predicted. That has happened. So if you cash a $2,000 dividend check now, have we learned nothing? What will happen? You want another 26%? How about we go another round? Because where, Clayton, does that money come from?
Well, first of all, we're borrowing it. We're borrowing.
Nowhere, right, exactly.
Exactly. So this is all phony money. So someone in the chat room said, oh, TDS channel, I'm out of here. No, I like President Trump very much, and he's been great to my family. But on this issue, on taking tariff money and funneling it out in the form of checks as some sort of a dividend check, when we're $38 trillion in debt, and we just sent another round of billions into Ukraine, for crying out loud. Like, we need to stop this boondoggle right now. We are America First on this channel, and we sort of align really, with Thomas Massey and Ron Paul on making sure that our American spending stays here in the United States. It's not being sent out around the world in the form of ridiculous sort of stipend checks.
That's such a stupid comment. It's not personality based.